Welcome and thank you for joining PTSI's mini webinar series number 2, Understanding Special Education. I'm Tina Norris, Family Engagement Specialist here at PTSI. Our objectives for today's mini series will reflect back to 1975. We will define special education, review the special education process, as well as IDEA 2004 update. We'll discuss the high expectations for student success. We'll explore the parent role in the special education process, and we will look at what the procedural safeguards are. So looking back and reflecting to 1975, Congress enacted the Public Law 94-142 in 1975. The statute was known at that time as the Education for All Handicapped Children Act. Over the years, the act was amended and renamed. The last revision was enacted by Congress on November the 19th, 2004, and it is now known as the Individuals with Disabilities Education Improvement Act of 2004, IDEA. President George W. Bush signed the act into law in December 3rd, 2004. No other law in the nation provides clear and unique legal protection for children with disabilities. Congress first endorsed the Individuals with Disability Act, also known as IDEA, in 1975 because public schools were frequently ignoring children with disabilities, or they had been placed in inferior or distant programs. IDEA set forth a number of legal mandates for children receiving special education. So let's review a couple of the important ones. Your child is entitled to a free, appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. Least restrictive environment is also known as LRE, which simply means your child should spend as much time as possible with peers who do not receive special education. Your child is also entitled to a comprehensive evaluation of their needs. School districts cannot evaluate your child without your approval. Your child is also entitled to have a written individual education plan, also known as an IEP, that is developed by the IEP team. You, as the parent, are a vital and equal member of this team, and your voice matters. Your child's IEP team must must include annual goals. Your child is entitled to related services. Related services means transportation or developmental, corrective, or other supporting services that may be required to help your child benefit from special education. Your child is entitled to placement in a private school at public expense if the school district cannot provide the appropriate placement. Your child is entitled to be educated as close to your home as possible and in the school your child would attend if he or she did not have disabilities. If you do not agree with the school's district about any component of your child's IEP, including whether your child is eligible for special education, you can ask and request for mediation or an hearing before an impartial third person. And lastly, your child's IEP cannot be changed by the school without your permission. So what is special education? The Individuals with Disability Act, IDEA, mandates that all children with disabilities in the United States receive a free, appropriate public education. Special education instruction is provided by teachers who are trained in methods that address the learning needs of your child with disabilities. These methods, along with the individualization of instruction, gives the child the opportunity to be successful through their developmental journey. Special education is the services a child with a disability needs in order to learn and become knowledgeable and independent as possible when they finish school. It requires specifically designed instruction to help your child achieve the goals the IEP team, which includes you, the parent, develop. A child receiving special education has an IEP to show what, where, and how they will learn these things. These services are free to your family. Your child is unique, so the plan is developed specifically to meet your child's need. Remember, special methods and individualization equals success. Special education is a process, and so in Series 2, we'll get you started on your new journey. I want you to take a moment and envision a road. In Series 2, we will introduce you to the road's rules, so to speak. We'll talk with you about the laws of the road, your rights, and your responsibilities based on those laws. So your family's special education will be much like the same. So let's prepare you for your journey. You want to take a long look at your hopes and dreams for your child. These are your destination. You want to have as much information about the itinerary as possible. This will be your distance or your final destination. You want to know what stops you have along the way, the rules of the road, who you can call for help, and more importantly, you want to know what your rights are while on this journey. You want to have and know the skills of how to explain certain knowledge about your child to the educators or the IEP team. And you want to have a good working relationship with your child's school so that your child can benefit from this collaborative, authentic relationship. Ultimately, you want your child to be prepared for their future to adulthood. So IDEA 2004, the update, sets high expectations for children with disabilities. They strengthen the roles of parents in the education process. So let's explore the high expectations and how this became into law. On June 28th of 1982, the U.S. Supreme Court's decision, Board of Education of the Hendrick Hudson Central School District, Winchester County versus Rowley, by her parents, Rowley. The court determined that FAPE, also known as the Free Appropriate Public Education, to be satisfied when the IEP is reasonably calculated to ensure the child to receive educational benefit. The Andrew F. versus the Douglas County School District case was argued in January of 2017 and decided in March of 2017. And it helped to also clarify what is meant by educational benefit. We discussed earlier that special education, Public Law 94-142, that guaranteed the right for a child with disabilities to attend public schools. Previously, the expectations for children with disabilities to learn in school were low and no proven methods were expected. Now, today, parents play a vital role in setting the tone for high expectations for their child. Our children's expectations for themselves will mirror the expectations we have for them. Consistent